And we are live. What is going on, LBHT crew? What's going on, Panthers Nation? Well, it was a hard fought game. Disappointing ending, but it was a good game. They fought hard. They fought the way they fought this whole season. They may not play perfect. They might stumble out the gate, but they're always going to fight in the end, and that's exactly what the Panthers did. But it wasn't enough. They fall short to the Rams, 34-31. B. I'll just say this real quick. I know you're gonna give your breakdown. You being the resident Panthers fan over there, but I'll say this: before getting any making any improvements and anything like that, the one thing that they need to fix coming back, and that starts with the coaching staff, is get off to a faster start.
Yeah, they do. They got off to a slow start again today. I think that part of that is that they've not been able to establish a run game for the last couple of months. Part of it is the pass catchers have been very inconsistent. You saw their issues show up very clearly in this game, right? Like the O-line is still a bit banged up, even though they got Robert Hunt back. They gave up a lot of pressure. They were not able to get the run game going at all. Chuba Hubbard finished with 46 yards. Rico had 5 carries for 9 yards. The defense, the middle of the field is still wide open for anybody who wants it against Carolina, right?
Yeah.
But they showed, some of their strengths as well, right? Bryce played very well. Teterow played very well. Jalen Coker stepped up and kind of laid claim to that wide receiver 2 role for next year. He had a monster game. They made timely plays. Mike Jack came up with another interception. They stopped the Rams on 4th down on one drive. It's just they just don't have enough right now. A bunch of times you saw Christian Roseboom covering either Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams. He can't cover non-receiving tight ends. So having him on some of the better receivers in the NFL is not great, right? But they're not able to generate pressure consistently. So they got to blitz, and it leaves them in those kind of positions. But I think you saw that they're a well-coached team. They've got a good base of talent with Bryce and Teterow and Jalen Coker. The O-line, when they're healthy, they're a good O-line. And I think they saw the clear areas that they need to improve. I mean, that was a tough drop on the 4th down. Like, Jimmy Horn should have had it. Greg Olsen said it on the broadcast, like, just go to the ground and catch the ball, because I mean you weren't very likely to run anywhere anyway after the catch. Secure the ball, get down, call the timeout, then you run another play and hopefully kick a field goal. But
yeah, I mean, that's a frustrating thing, because you had three timeouts. So there's 3 timeouts. I think 17 seconds left. That play might have taken 5 seconds off the clock. Right. Just go down. Right, go down, call a timeout, and you only need one more play to get into field goal range.
Yeah, they should have realistically called a timeout on the previous drive when the Rams had the ball, but I know that's always kind of tricky. You don't want to give the other offense more time, make them more comfortable. But I mean, they were going right down the field on you. You didn't want to. They ended up getting the ball back with only 38 seconds left, even though they had the 3 timeouts. It's just not a lot of time. But no negative feelings about that. I mean, you wish you made the catch. You wish they didn't, have the fumble, the earlier interception, and things like that. But it was a great season for Carolina. They showed up and they played really well today for the most part. I mean, I thought that when they scored the touchdown, I was like, there's a lot of time left for the Rams offense. But ideally they would have been able to get into field goal range. But I think they're looking really strong for next season if they make a few key additions.
Let me give a shout out to the chat. Osmond's in the house, says, hello, crew. Salute, Osmond. Says, what's next up, year Osmond? Will be a Ravens-Panthers Super Bowl. Okay. I like the optimism.
Optimism.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, not the team that can't.
Kevin Stefanski ain't taking it.
Can't get the offense off the field.
Kevin Stefanski ain't taking that. Which team are you talking about? I'm sorry.
The one we just watched. The one that everybody just watched.
I thought you were talking about the one who couldn't get offenses off the field, and that's why they don't have a game this weekend.
New coach, okay? New staff. Okay, yeah. Your staff changing? Right. I don't think so. Okay, then.
why would they change? They got it done. We won the division.
Yeah, you didn't win anything else. You need to win more than the division to make the Super Bowl.
Next year's a new year. We won the division this year. That was this year's goal.
All right, then. All right. Why you bring up the past? That's what you saying?
Mission accomplished. So what are we talking about?
Says, welcome to the stream, everyone. Panthers were this close, to advancing. Hit the like and subscribe button. Hashtag road to 3K. Super chat is available. Also, Cash App, $ LBHTShow. Yes, we are 27-ish subscribers away from 3,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. P Brown the third says tough loss. Salute. Thanks for coming through. Killer says hola Jose and mucho gusto Brodny.
Nice to meet you, Cam.
Yes, he says 808s and heartbreaks. I know. I know. Love West, what's going on? Says Brodny, do you still look at the year as a success, fail season, or just an okay season?
This season is absolutely a success. You're talking about a team that hadn't had a home playoff game in 10 years, they haven't been competitive at all in the last 7 years or so. So to come out and, at the start of the season, a lot of people had questions about the coach. A lot of people had questions about the starting quarterback. Questions about every phase on this team, right? Every unit on this team. So to come out, and even though it was 8-9 because they went on that little losing streak at the end of the season, to win the division and then almost take out a lot of people's picks for the Super Bowl in the wild card round is absolutely a plus. And the way they played specifically is a big plus. Bryce Young played great. Teterow and Jalen Coker showed that they can be the 1 and 2 moving forward. They do still have areas they need to address, especially, unfortunately, Ike Ekwonu, they said he suffered a significant knee injury, so he may not even be ready for the start of next season. So they are going to have to kind of still fortify that O-line this offseason. They need to get help on the D-line, obviously, because they have a lot of trouble getting to the quarterback, and they've got some trouble in the in coverage as well. But the way they played, the way they showed up, it should be very promising for Panthers fans.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. It was a successful season. And, Kwame says, they went 8-9. Sounds about right. Yeah, look, they won a division. They won a division, and they almost pulled off the win. They obviously have some things that they need to work on. But even before bringing on any more people, like just those mental mistakes, they have to be able to clean up, and I think they will. I think they will. But there's a lot of potential with this team, and this is why you play to get into the playoffs. Unless you're trying to tank for a quarterback, right?
Yeah, it's a good experience to play that game, even if you end up losing. Those guys know what it's like to be in the playoffs. They know what playoff football is now. Yes. Most of those guys have not been to the playoffs before.
Well, and also, man, like it's a great experience for the fans. Like, had the Ravens made it, look, it's a little different for us because we're trying to win the Super Bowl, right? Like we look at the AFC a little different. Like, nah, we should be able to hang with any of those teams. But had we made it to the playoffs at least and lost a close game like that to like the Broncos, it would still be disappointing, but a little more satisfying than going out the way we went out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're not, like you said, if you're not looking for your quarterback, you want to see your team playing in January and February, hopefully. But you don't want to be missing the playoffs with 6 wins if you think you have your quarterback already, You want to be competing at the end of the season. Like if you don't have your quarterback, it's advisable for me. I know a lot of people don't like to tank, but if you don't have your quarterback, man, it's a race to the bottom. All right, get your quarterback and then build and then start competing, start winning games. If you've got your guy, you go out there to win every week.
King, what's going on, man? He says, long time no see, but I'm always watching.
King?
Shout out to you. He says, shout out to y'all brothers. And B, y'all had a better season than us. Yeah.
Y'all. I mean, listen. Okay, appreciate that. Panthers had a great year winning the division. I think they answered a lot of questions. Y'all had a great year too, because John Harbaugh is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that with no malice towards John Harbaugh. Seems like a good guy. He's going to get another job. I think he's going to do well at his new job. But his time was up in Baltimore, and now you're going to go out and you're going to have your pick of the top coaching candidates. You know, Lamar is still in his prime or just entering his prime. They have a lot of talent all throughout the defense. You know, they've got Zay. They've got, well, for a little while they got Likely. We'll see what they do there.
Yeah.
But it's a quick path to Super Bowl contention for Baltimore. So I mean, y'all had a great season too. Just getting that dude out the building.
Yeah. Carmen said that's related to them needing some pieces. His 8-9 comment. Yeah, for sure. They definitely they need some pieces. And it showed, right? It showed, like, they play their hearts out. I'll give them that. Like they play their hearts out. There's no, like, the thing that frustrates me about the Ravens is the missed tackles. You know, there's a lot of barking and everything out there. There's a lot of missed tackles, and it just seems like they're just not really in it. The Panthers play with a lot of heart. They don't have the skill there.
Like Christian Roseboom can't really cover. Trevin Wallace is out, and when he's there, he cannot cover. So, like, you know, it's just kind of there's things that they are just kind of missing. We did get a super chat from Zion. Thank you very much. It says, welcome to Cancun, Brian. Heard your flight was delayed. It was not delayed. We earned our way in. I mean, you.
He froze up. But Bill was saying, hey, it wasn't delayed. They earned their way into the game. You know what I'm saying? And they played a good game. And that crowd, that's exactly why, you know, you want to win your division and have at least a home game. The way they showed up for that crowd, because I could argue the crowd got them back into it, because they're down 14-0, and it looks like things are going, you know, the Rams' way, and the crowd did not stop. Ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling them that the crowd participation, I think, helped get the Panthers back into this game.
Yeah.
You know, because they're up 14-0, and it's like things are going wrong. But the Panthers, like I said, they keep fighting, and the crowd did not stop. And that, you know, playing on the road, even for the Rams, you know, that's distracting. And I mean, Puka Nacua dropping passes. Yeah. You know, dropping a touchdown pass.
That was big. Shout out Puka.
Matt Stafford overthrowing Devontae Adams on the pass. You know, the interceptions.
Like,
you know, there's
Jack
a lot of things.
Up big with the pick. Yeah, no, I think, like I said, there are some. Hey, Cam, this definitely qualifies as a success compared to the last couple of seasons. Chiefs versus Panthers next year. Okay, well, you know, you're in the same boat with the Ravens. We'll see. I mean, the Carolina will be there. We have that from multiple sources now. We'll see what happens in the AFC. But yeah, you know, this is gonna be a shorter stream. You know, obviously there's a playoff game going on right now. The Packers and the Bears have already started, and we're gonna be talking about this a lot on Wednesday. Some of the things that you saw that showed up as issues today for the Panthers, we're going to talk about how to address those when we do our mock draft on Wednesday. We've already made those picks. We got that all set up for the show. So, yeah, I mean, it's I don't want to say it's easy from here, right? Obviously, it's not. You know, they still got a lot of work to do, but they've got the cap room, they've got the coach, they've got the quarterback. So if Dan Morgan can make some smart decisions this offseason in free agency and in the draft falls the right way, they should be a much, much improved team next year.
100%. Game too easy. What's going on? Says, let's go.
What's up, gang? I can't tell if you're excited about the stream or if you're excited Carolina lost. I'm gonna assume it's a stream because I don't want to block you.
What up, Zeke? Thanks for coming through. Pay the bill. Says, man, that was a hell of a game. Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. It was. And again, like this is another game that you needed to show, you know, to show Panthers fans, because I think the organization at this point, you know, they're fully behind Bryce Young. But it shows Panthers fans Bryce Young is a guy. He stepped up in a big game. You know, that one interception wasn't his fault. Jen Coker stopped on the route. but he stepped up in a big game and he showed you like, no, I'm built for these games.
I do want to address that as well. We did get another super chat from Ziad. Thank you very much. So you need to upgrade at right guard. Got a Samoan recommendation. Look, their right guard is Robert Hunt. Robert Hunt is one of the best right guards in the league. He had not played since week 2. So he was not 100% out there today. I mean, obviously he was rusty, and then he did get hurt at one point in the game. But I mean, they need to fortify the line regardless. Like I said, Ekwonu, they said, suffered a significant knee injury, so he may not be ready for next season. That's their starting left tackle. So I'm not even going to read that nonsense you just put in there.
Yeah, Falele is not better than
Danny,
Robert. He's talking about
do your thing.
He's talking about the current guard. And even that I don't agree. But but Robert Hunt, Robert Hunt is a starting.
He is Samoan.
What is he?
He's from New Zealand. Well, I mean, he's from New Zealand. So
they're Samoan.
He's not from Samoa.
No, but New Zealanders are like you could be Samoan.
I know you can be. I'm saying I don't think he is. I mean, he's just
a lot of Polynesian.
New Zealand or Australian. I can't remember which one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not Samoan. But regardless,
a lot of Samoans in Hawaii.
But I'll tell you, I know there. But I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure he's not Samoan. But regardless, he sucks and it doesn't matter. All right. So anyway, we're talking about Bryce. I think one thing that we saw today, and I think this is a lesson that Canales needs to take away from this game, is that you can put it on his shoulders and let him go out there and throw. Like, they've been very conservative. They don't like to throw the ball downfield. They don't throw it a lot. They like to kind of try and lean on the run game. But Bryce is the guy, and I know that a big part of it has been the O-line, and another big part of it has been that the pass catchers are not or have not been consistent. But you saw today what the offense can look like when Teterow and Jalen both show up and they let Bryce throw. He was throwing it all over the field. He was having a lot of success. They still need to add pass catchers because they don't have anybody outside of those two. And they obviously need to address the run game because it's not Rico and it's not Chuba. I think they should have at this point that piece of it figured out, that Bryce is the guy and he can lead the offense. You don't need to be as conservative as they have been. You can go out there and let him throw it.
Yeah. All right, Daniel Falele. He's Australian nationality. Born in Australia to a Samoan father and Tongan mother. So
he's Tongan.
He's Samoan and Tongan. All right. So there you go.
I'll tell you what he is.
What's up, Bazel?
He's a Baltimore Raven. That's what he is. All right.
No, not anymore. He's a free agent. He's a free agent.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's a hardball Raven.
And let me just caution you again, B, because every time you do these little things where you want to be like, oh, he's a Raven, he, that player ends up on your team.
I don't even care because he wouldn't start in Carolina. and listen, it's not as if y'all developed him. So like we talked about this the other day. Like there's a solid chance that Voorhees and Falele end up being able to play somewhere because y'all did a terrible job of developing both those guys.
100%.
So if he ends up getting signed as a backup lineman in Carolina, I mean, I'll take the jokes, but I'm not gonna be mad. Like it's whatever.
Yeah. Well,
I am still mad about Devin though.
All jokes aside, like you and I are kind of on the same page, with this. Had Falele and Voorhees gotten a chance to really develop, like sit behind actual starters, and they can, they take the time developing them. I'm not saying they be good now, but they would have a better chance of becoming starting caliber guards, right? Right now they're not it, and we're crushing them for it because they're not ready. But guards can take, offensive linemen in general can take time to develop.
And you remember we were all pretty optimistic about Daniel Falele early on.
Yes.
Like, in his rookie year and even his second year, he played a little bit of left tackle. Like, oh, he looked, a little better there than you might have thought. But then just regression. Like, like they just told both of them to go out there and figure it out themselves.
Yeah.
And Falele said, if I never touch him, I can't get blamed for getting beat.
Yeah, Jared, Bryce was balling.
Yeah,
he was balling. He did his thing, and absolutely they need to. I think part of it wasn't just that. I don't think Canales was a thing where he didn't trust Bryce. I think he understood that I can't really protect him, right? Because every time he tried to drop back, they were getting in the backfield.
I'm not even saying
that
he
D-line
doesn't trust Bryce. I'm saying he doesn't trust the offense as a whole because the O-line has been beat up all year.
Yes.
They've used a ton of different O-line combinations, and as much as we all like Jalen Coker, we were just talking about this in the Discord. He had 394 yards this year in 11 games. Right, he wasn't consistently productive. Like they had one guy they could go to, and that was Teteroa, and defenses could take him away. And he had drop issues. Right, they don't have a starting tight end. The second half of the season, the run game was not working, and so he's kind of looking at it like, man, what can we do? Where can we go? Yeah. And that forces a lot of coaches to be conservative. I think they bring back Coker and Teteroa. They like I said, they fortify that O-line. Hopefully Jonathan Brooks is ready to go starting next season. And you're going to see, I think, a much more explosive offense from Carolina next year.
Okay. Louisville Cardinals, Ravens says Jose Falele is trash. I'm not arguing that. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm saying he was not developed well in Baltimore, along with Voorhees, along with a lot of players like Owe, who a lot of y'all said was trash. And then as soon as he left, is one of the better edge rushers, right? Racked up 7 sacks, no problem, right? Is an asset to his new team. We don't do a good job of developing players here, or we didn't under the previous coaching staff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Falele is going to be some great player or anything like that. I'm just saying he wasn't developed well here. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Games Woozy says Matthew Stafford is not Hall of Fame to me. Listen, I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore.
He's Hall of Fame.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. Especially if they give him the MVP this year, like they should. He deserves it this season. He had a phenomenal year. But yeah, no, I mean, look, people talk about Lamar and his playoff record, right? Why are you at 3-5 or whatever? Matt Stafford through 12 years of his career was 0-3 in the playoffs. So, it should tell you, because like he is a phenomenally talented player, and he's shown that since he got to the Rams, right? It should tell you that it matters a whole lot where a quarterback lands. If Pat Mahomes didn't get drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs, he would not be Pat Mahomes right now. It matters where you go and how they build around you.
And I'll tell you something about Matt in a second, but shout out to Suge, man. What's going on?
What's up,
Thanks
Suge?
for coming through, holding it down on Twitch. Matt Stafford, this goes with we're talking about narratives for quarterbacks and whatnot. Matt Stafford almost gave away this game, right? He had 2 interceptions.
Well, almost. Nick's got he dropped it. Puka knocked it out, and yeah.
I'm pretty sure I counted. I gotta go back and look. I counted like 4. One was an interception, and there's 3 more that should have been interceptions. But the one that Puka Nacua knocked out was a definite interception. That's the game, right? Like if you guys get the ball there, they don't get any points. Game's over.
And shout out to Puka for making that play. It was a great play. I think a lot of receivers probably wouldn't have made that play, but it's the way it goes sometimes.
But that won't get talked about. Like Matt Stafford almost
he does that a lot. He does that a lot.
Yes.
Like I said, he almost threw away the Super Bowl. He tried.
Yes.
It didn't happen for him, so he got that ring. Congrats to him. But he is super talented, and he had a great year. This year he didn't throw many of those types of interceptions this season.
This is a fact. Suge. You give Lamar, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, and the tight end, and he would have 3 championships. That's a fact.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. And Kyron.
And listen. I mean, John knew Puka was going to be great. He just didn't take him, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
They could have signed Devontae. They just didn't.
Like there's almost 70 people in here, man. Appreciate y'all. we talking Panthers, but I know a lot of y'all Ravens fans in here. We're gonna be talking some, we were talking some John Harbaugh, because that article, we're going to be not this stream, but there's an article that came out about what led up to the firing, and a little more insight and all that stuff. So check out Coach Evans' channel, Sip to Tally Films. He broke it down earlier today, which is he did an excellent job. But I want to give my take on that as well. And then we'll talk about some coaching candidates who the Ravens are interviewing and whatnot. But today is about the Panthers, man. They fell short, but they showed you a whole lot. And again, these are the type of games, like they do it on a big stage, right? It gets fans hyped up, because fans are disappointed in the loss, but the fans believe in them, right? Players buy into this team. And when they're looking to get free agents, it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It's a little easier to get them to say, okay, that team's on the come up. Like they're competing. They almost took down the Rams. I could be that missing piece.
Yeah, because at the time, a couple of years ago, everybody laughed at Carolina for signing Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis to those huge contracts, because Robert Hunt got $20 million a year as a guard. And that I believe he was the first one to get that. And people were like, man, they had to overpay to get him there. Yeah, they did. But it was the right thing to do, right? Because, teams, players aren't looking to go to Carolina at that point. They're perennial losers. They're targeting 5 wins a year, at best. But they know that you build that foundation up front. You build around your quarterback, and the wins will come, right? And a couple years later, division champions, they're in the playoffs, and Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis are a big part of why, and now, like you said, you go out there, you beat the Rams once already, and now you come back in this playoff game, you show it wasn't a fluke that you beat them, because that's what people, that was the talk, is they got lucky, whatever. It wasn't a fluke that they beat them, and you look at that team as they got cap room. They're in a pretty easy division, pending. I mean, some of those teams are on the rise too, but right now, pretty easy division. And they've got their quarterback, they got the money, and I can go there, get paid, and compete. It's a pretty attractive spot.
Bazo says, I heard a rumor Brodny is Alaskan.
You're correct.
Correct. Yeah, he is. Born in Alaska. What's an Alaskan? Someone who's born in Alaska.
Well, man, for someone who knows everything, bro. Goddamn.
Josh Allen winning his first Super Bowl. What year? Not this year.
Get out, Felipe.
I mean, okay. I got nothing against Josh Allen. I don't see it for this team.
I'm rooting for Josh Allen. I like Josh Allen a lot. I think he's super fun to watch. Great player. I think they go out in the first round, honestly.
Me too.
I kind of do. I mean, unless he goes Superman, I think they go out in the first round.
There are rumors that if they don't win it this year, Doug McDermott is out, right? Or at least they don't get far enough, but Doug McDermott is out. That's because it's been a disappointing year, right? Mm-hmm. They've been up and down. They haven't looked great, and it looks like that the window could be closing a little bit. I mean, not fully closed. When you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, your window's not fully closed, but you got to retool a little bit. And they're in the same boat. Like the Ravens get rid of Harbaugh is making them think even harder. Like, now might be the time, because he's in the same boat. He's had McDermott as his coach for 8 years, and he hasn't gotten it done.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot with Lamar and Harbaugh. We never really mentioned it with Josh Allen.
Correct. Yeah. So this is the time for them to say, hey, thanks for everything, but we got to find a coach that can get more out of this team and get us to where we need to go. Like that, but that's what serious teams do, and I would expect them to do that if they don't get it done this year.
Kwame says, "I'm just saying it's not another country." What's a Texan, Kwame? What's a New Yorker? Would you ask the same thing?
Right.
Check your bias. Kwame. Check your privilege. All right.
See, Big Woke agrees. He thinks Jack's got it.
But no, I'm very proud of the Panthers this year. They had a great year. I think they've got a lot of young players who are going to improve and kind of grow into the roles. Nick Scorton, he didn't have a ton of sacks. I think he finished with 5 sacks this year, but I think he's going to take a big step forward. Same thing with Princely. And like I said, we all gotta everybody got to light a candle and say a prayer for Jonathan Brooks' knee. We need the premier back that they drafted a couple years ago because Chuba and Rico is not the backfield moving forward. I think they should let Rico go in free agency. Chuba's got his contract already. Chuba can stay. Chuba plays real tough. Chuba is a team player, and by all accounts, just a great dude. And a guy you want in the locker room, and he's still effective. I mean, he got hurt this year, and that kind of he lost the job, and it kind of derailed his season a bit. But he's still an effective runner. So they get the O-line sorted out, get Jonathan Brooks back and healthy. Chuba Hubbard is the other guy in the backfield. I think that the run game will be back on track, and like I said, you're going to see a much more consistent and explosive offense out of Carolina.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't know about Jonathan Brooks. You know what I'm saying? Like, good or bad. I just don't know. But he's hurt, 2 years in a row? He's been hurt.
Well, yes and no. He was hurt in college, and he came in hurt, right? So he did not play the start of his rookie year, and then once he got back, he got hurt. So he's been hurt once in the NFL, but the timing of the injuries caused him to miss 2 seasons.
All I'm saying is, like, and I throw all my eggs into the Jonathan Brooks basket, right?
I'm not saying to throw all of them in there, just
Like, Jay, I like where you're going. He says, "Man, we drafted Bain or Jamiah Love. I like Jamiah Love."
Don't listen to Jay dreaming. We know we are drafted either one of those guys.
Bain and Jamiah Love will not be there when you're picking. Jamiah Love is a special player,
as is Ruben Bain.
As is Ruben Bain. But we're just talking about running backs. I was for running backs. That's one of those players. It's just like you put a little higher up your list because that's a Jahmyr Gibbs type of player. Right?
I'm not sure about Etienne. I think he'll be better on offense than on special teams, obviously, because how could he not be? But Rico walks, Jonathan Brooks comes back, Etienne's there, and I think they can spend a day 3 pick on a running back to throw into the mix as well, or grab a cheap veteran in free agency. But I don't think that they should spend a high pick right now at running back.
Carmen says, "All right, smart Alex. There was another question about you having Polynesian in you." Shaking my head. Thoughts he was referring to Eskimos, natives.
Why are you assuming I'm not a native?
No, B is not Polynesian.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I like to see them go after another running back because, like, if Jonathan Brooks ends up being the guy, being good enough, that's cool. But if he's not, I don't.
If he's not, right, let's say he comes back and he can't stay healthy, or he's just not, like, because we saw him play a bit in his rookie year and he looked like he had the talent, but it wasn't much, obviously.
No.
So if he's just not the guy, or if he can't stay healthy, I mean, that's why Chuba's still there. And we know Chuba is a decent starter, a plus starter. Trevor Etienne, we'll see what he can turn into on the offense. And I'm saying they can go and get a running back on the 3rd day, or a veteran and a cheap veteran in free agency, just to make sure that they're not bad in that room.
I'm gonna tell you,
but I think right now they don't need to focus on trying to get a great running back until they know what they've got in Brooks.
Tell me what you think about this. This person was floated out there as being available at trade deadline. Breece Hall,
man, listen. If they're willing to give up Breece for a 3rd day pick, then yes, absolutely. I would 100% take Breece Hall.
I think he could be half for a 3rd day pick.
I mean, we'll see. I'm not sure, because if he could be, why is he still a Jet? I know the teams were interested.
I don't.
That's not
Tagovailoa.
Uyunglele didn't want any of that.
Oh, I don't.
Latulele, no, just straight to Tua.
I don't know. I don't know.
But no, I'm just saying, like, I know there were teams that wanted him, and I know he wanted out. So if they were willing to take a day 3 pick, I think he would have been gone. I think that he's one of those special players and I say special player in that in their circumstance where the team is like, you're very, very good, very talented. No, we're not going to use you, but we're also not going to let you go anywhere else to be used better, more effectively than we have been using you.
Yes, but also when teams circle back and like, hey, you think about the mistake you made last time? Yes, I did. I'll take a lower pick now, right? Like
sure. I think that happens when you have a change of leadership, also though, and
especially when you get to the draft and GMs lose their minds in the draft. We're like, hey, I got a pick for you. It's like, sure, I think that's a possibility. But okay, but let's just say like if it's a possibility, is that something you would?
Yeah. If for the right price, obviously. But I'm just saying that I don't think that running back needs to be a focus for Carolina right now. They need to like I said, fortify the O-line. They need to build some more on the D-line. They need more consistent pass catchers than what they have. Even after this game, like Jalen Coker, like I said, he had a monster game. He had like 9 catches for like 130 yards or something like that. That represents a third of his season.
Yeah.
Like that's a third of his regular season numbers. So, they have to, and I think that Jalen Coker can be the wide receiver 2 next year, and I think he probably will be, but you don't want to just bank on that and say, hey, we're good with just these 2 guys. They still need more than just Teteroa and Jalen Coker. Because I do not want to see Xavier again on the field again. Not at all.
He just out there running. He just out there running, man. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he drafted a wide receiver a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Again, right? Like Canales knows wide receivers. He knows exactly the type of player he's looking for. And if he doesn't get it right, he's just gonna circle back. And he got it right with Teteroa, and I think he'll do it again.
Obviously, you think they'll trade again, man? God willing. I mean, I don't. Do you think anybody will take him?
Kwame, I thought they were going to trade him at the beginning of the season. That's probably where they had the best chance of getting like something of some value for him, right? I figured, if he didn't perform well in preseason, he didn't get a lot of snaps in the preseason. I figured if he didn't really show out there, he was going to get left behind, and they would trade him pretty early. But they didn't. They held on to him, and they wanted to. And look, to their credit, they did their due diligence and made sure, he didn't they didn't trade him before he broke out. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So they should look to see what they can get for him.
Yeah, I think the answer is likely nothing, especially after they fleeced Dallas for the Jonathan Mingo trade. But you try, and if you can't trade him, there's no harm in just leaving him on the roster for another year. I mean, he's still on his rookie deal. He's just going into his 3rd year. So there is still the chance of that 3rd year breakout that used to be the common thing for receivers, right? I just don't really see it happening.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, all right. Panther season is over, but the football season is not yet over. Make sure you tune into the rest of these playoff games because there's some good football going on and it's entertaining. All right. And obviously, there's a lot of things to discuss for the offseason for both teams. Just mentioned earlier that we're going to be discussing, obviously, the Ravens coaching search.
Mm-hmm.
More insight on the John Harbaugh firing. Who was crying? Who wasn't? Did you see that? Was it Adam Schefter saying, "Oh, players are crying"? That was a lie, by the way.
It was a lie because it came out that he wasn't even at the facility when he heard that he got fired.
Right.
And players have come out and said they heard from friends, they heard from social media posts and all that kind of stuff. Like I know that Adam Schefter is just a dirtbag. He doesn't care about being honest. But good Lord, man, like it wasn't going to come out.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
What's up, E? He says I was pulling for you, B. Damn.
Appreciate it, E.
That's all good.
Right now, if you have not checked yet, Green Bay is up 7-3 on the Bears. Caleb Williams 7 for 11 with an interception. Jordan Love 6 for 8, 98 yards and a touchdown pass to Christian Watson. And the Packers have the ball on the Chicago 19, getting ready to score again.
And that goes with game 2 easy question. Who y'all got winning, Bears or Packers? I think I picked the Bears.
I picked the Bears, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be Green Bay. All right, so, hey, whatever.
I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. Okay,
Right.
Look, if the Panthers game didn't show you anything, it ain't over till it's over.
Well, yeah, and Chicago, that's been Chicago's MO as well. They have a lot of last second comebacks, so including against Green Bay in their last game. So I'm going to stick with the Bears. It's not looking great right now, but that's a team that can put up points pretty quickly.
What position will the Panthers be drafted in 26, and what position should they draft?
I'm glad you asked that, Osman, because on Wednesday on the LBHT show, starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, we are going to be doing a mock draft for the Ravens and the Panthers. It's going to be the first 3 rounds. It's not going to be a live mock. We've already made the picks, but we're going to go over it and go over our justification for the picks and things like that.
It'll be a nice presentation. It won't be just us just doing a mock draft on the screen. But
we did do an actual mock draft to make the picks. And also on Wednesday, we're going to go over, since now both seasons are over, we're going to go over our yearly awards for the NFL for, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, the Rookie Awards, and etc. So definitely tune in. I believe we're going to have Rogue Pod Hendo on as a guest for the awards as well. So it should be a good time.
Yeah. That's 7:45 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, the LBHT show. Make sure you are subscribed, okay? If you're not yet subscribed, and turn on your notification bells as well. I can see Van Noy crying for Harbs. He's that type. Nah, I don't think so. He's one of the first people to be like, man, not Van Noy. Van Noy don't. He ain't got ties to Harbaugh like that. He's played for him for what, 2 years?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Oh, and we got a super chat. Hey, appreciate you.
Thank you.
It says Panthers definitely put up a fight. Ravens will see you guys next season. Ravens versus the South. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't trust the Rams coming out the NFC. Who do you trust? Like, that's the thing. In NFC or AFC, who do you trust?
Okay, there's nobody to trust this year, really. Like the easy answer would be Seattle, but then it's Sam Darnold. San Francisco, it's injuries in Brock Purdy. The Eagles haven't looked right all season. The Bears and the Packers are, they're solid teams, but they don't look like Super Bowl teams, especially having lost Micah Parsons. So it's
Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, because that dude was balling when Carolina took him out.
Man, thank you, Tone DeVere. Appreciate that super chat.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, that's the thing. Speaking of, right, like the Seahawks, like they're doing a good job. Just Sam Darnold is just manning the ship right now until who's the guy they drafted? Jalen Milroe. I think that's going to be the guy. They're taking the time with him. They're doing I think this is going to be a Jordan Love type thing where he might sit for 2 or 3 years before he goes out there, but he has a lot of talent, raw talent.
And the Packers have scored again, touchdown pass to Jaden Reed. So Jordan Love up to 7 for 9, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a perfect passer rating of 158.3.
There you go. Now, I saw somebody say earlier that if the Packers don't win, Mike LaFleur could be out in Green Bay. And I did hear that rumor. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. And I understand where they might say, okay, we might have gone as far as we can with Mike LaFleur, right? But Mike LaFleur took somebody like Jordan Love is a very good quarterback now, but when he was drafted, he was not. Yeah, he was not this.
You mean Matt LaFleur? By the way.
Matt LaFleur. I'm sorry, Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, because of M. He wasn't this. I think LaFleur has done a pretty good job. Like, but that does bear the question, like how long do you keep this going if nothing is if you keep falling short? I understand that. Like at some point, like there's got to be expectations to win. But Matt LaFleur is somebody I would call if he were to get fired.
Again, if he got fired, instantly to the top of the list.
Yeah,
he's the number one guy instantly if he gets fired after this game.
You would rather Mike LaFleur than Matt LaFleur? Mike LaFleur is the Rams OC. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'll take Matt. I wouldn't be mad at Mike LaFleur, but I'll take Matt. All right. better, much. He worked with a much better quarterback.
He was also the Rams offensive coordinator as well.
Yeah. What was that stat you said about Sean McVay coaches?
All of his offensive coordinators have gone on to win 13 games in their first year as head coach. So if you want to just lock in 13-4 next year, then yeah, Mike's the guy. But I think Matt has been a very good coach over a longer period.
Matt LaFleur doghouses a lot of players and is too conservative and relies on splash plays. Okay, all right. I mean, I
don't know who is he doghoused.
I don't know. I have to look at that. But Zia he might watch more games than I do. But I mean, they have a lot of talent too. Is he doghousing people, or is it just hey, like just everybody can't get snaps? They've done a good job drafting over there. They've done a really good job. Should we root for the Bears tonight? Root for who you want to.
Might as well.
I'm rooting for some.
I always root for chaos. If it's not my team. If it's not my team, I root for the most interesting thing that could happen.
Yeah. Some of you might be if you're on Twitter, you see it making the rounds where John Harbaugh is being compared to what's his name? Mike McCarthy. Yeah. All right. Just spread the word like our guy Garnett did. That started here. I don't know who watched the show and decided, hey, I'm going to spread this out to everybody. But thank you for getting the word out. Thank you for spreading the gospel. Okay, but you did hear it here first. Nobody made that comparison before I did. All right, Mike McCarthy is better than Harbaugh. That's incorrect. They are exactly the same. And if I show you their stats, you don't know who's who. Okay. You'll know if you know. I mean, but you'll know because one coached 18 years, the other one coached 17 years.
Yeah.
If I blur that out, you wouldn't know who was who. Their numbers are identical. But Mike McCarthy doesn't have the same PR team as John Harbaugh. And if you think about it, like Mike McCarthy won a lot of games in Dallas.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's looked at as a failure. In fact, let's look it up. Mike McCarthy, before we get out of here, Mike McCarthy's record, he was in Dallas. Yeah, man. I mean, his first season was bad. 6-10 that first season. Then 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, and 7-10. Yeah. That's John Harbaugh. Let's see. In Green Bay,
they're guys who and listen. This is a lot of coaches, right? Like we talked about the other day. These guys all know the game, right? They know what they're doing. They have their system. Blah 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 blah. And then they're as successful as their talent. The great coaches can kind of scheme their way or adjust their way to a few more wins a year. The real bad ones will stay the course their way to a few more losses a year. But you're not going to be a great coach with awful talent and win games. You're just not. Right. Look at Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls. 6. He's a genius. And then once Tom Brady left and a lot of those guys retired, he was fired in 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. You made a bad pick in Mac Jones and you out the league. That's just how it goes. It's the guys on the field that make it go.
Zia says, Jose, would you like Mike McDaniel at Baltimore? I feel like his personality would mesh well with Lamar and Zay's. Yeah. Short answer, yes. Is he at the top of my list? No. But if we got Mike McDaniel, I think it will work.
The short answer is yes. The long answer is yes at offensive coordinator.
I like it much better in that role. But they said, here's your head coach.
I think he's a good head coach.
Yeah, I think we still win. All right, no more questions because we're going to answer a lot of these coming up this week. All right, so make sure you subscribe. Today's only Saturday. Keep thinking. Turn your notification bells. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, myself and Hendo do a morning show right here on this channel and Hendo's channel, the Rogue Pod. All right. And then Wednesday, we're going to do the LBHT show. And honestly, now I'm thinking about it. We might do something Tuesday. Tuesday is tough because I do the Ravens roundup, but I know they're doing the press conference for Steve Bashadi and Eric DaCosta on Tuesday. So if they say something really revealing, or if we select a coach by then, we'll go live for that and discuss that. All right. So what you reading, B?
Ben Johnson went for it from his own 30. Madman, arrest him. I know you're joking, but I still don't get the pushback on going for it still.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the numbers show most of the time you should go for it.
Not in your own 30.
Teams that start doing it are successful. Like, let's go, man. Just win, baby.
Virgo says one guy I definitely don't want to see in Baltimore, Matt Nagy. Facts.
You won't.
Nah, yeah.
No worries.
Just giving them a call for courtesy and just doing a quick Zoom call, whatever, that's fine. But he better not be a serious candidate. I absolutely agree with you.
Listen, yeah, he says you can go for it, but from your own 30. Listen, the only difference between going for it from your own 30 and their 30 is you scared. All right, you still like whether you get it or not. Whether you get it or
scared, field goal range, 2 plays away from a touchdown. There's a lot of things that are different.
If you're going to go for it, if you're considering going for it, the only difference is you scared about what will happen if you don't get it. Stop playing scared, Ti.
Play scared sometimes. Okay.
Only sometimes play scared though. Like sometimes. Play smart. Sometimes you have to go for it from your own 30. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you need, and I'm not even talking about just like it's the last drive of the game or whatever. Like sometimes you need to get that jump start. You need to get your team going. Sometimes you got to make calls like that. Probably not down 14-3 in the first half of the playoff game though. At home.
Right. That shows a little panic, and that's too early for that. And yes, Danny, thank you. Monday through Wednesday, 6:15 a.m. Monday through Wednesday. Myself and Hendo do the morning show. And then Wednesday at 7:45 p.m. That's when me and B do the LBHT show and the overtime show, which you can find on our Patreon. That pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Patreon. It's only $5 or $10 or $20, depending on what you want. You want one of these? Do you want one of these? You can get one of these. All right. That's the $10 tier. All right. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. Click on our pin link in the chat box and sign up today. Okay. It's well worth the price of admission.
Very, very interesting topic coming up for the overtime this week.
Yes.
Discussing the just youth sports in general and psychopath coaches, or maybe coaches who are doing the right thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But also the development of American basketball players.
Yes. Yeah. So go check it out. Yes. Patreon.com/LBHT shows how you do that. Carolina is definitely hanging in there. Good game from them. Thank you, Garrison. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
All right. No Cliff Kingsbury. I don't trust them. Agreed. All right. We are out of here. Brodny, don't forget Cancun on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cancun.
That's where the losers go. Division champs go somewhere nicer. Y'all in Cancun. We'll be in Greece or Bali or whatever.
Yeah.
Not in Cancun.
All right. B, are you ready?
Ready.
B is ready. Go watch some more football, some more playoff football. All right. Turn your notification bells on, and we will see you very soon. Peace.